Breaking the silence, taking the dive in. Nikki pulling strings like she playing the violin. Made in his likeness, radiant vibrance. Give them all glory, ain't no way to deny it. She gon' make you laugh, she gon' stimulate your mind. Making things shake, she ain't in no wasting time. They can come close but can't imitate the grind. Got a different way to illustrate and innovate designs. BTS podcast, gotta watch that. Teaching us the game, that mean Nikki got class. If you watch it once, you gon' wanna stop back. This an opportunity that you cannot pass. Unleash your inner voice, cause better days coming. Better days, get ready for better days. Better days, better days. Better days, get ready for better days. Better days, better days.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Motivational Monday right here on the Breaking the Silence podcast. I'm your host, Arthur, Nikki, Nicole, and today I want to talk to the people who survived the things they didn't even talk about anymore. The people who kept showing up while silently falling apart. The people who learned how to smile through the pain. The people who kept pouring into everybody else while secretly wondering who was pouring into them. Tonight's message is called, "The version of you that survived deserves credit too." I'm the people, y'all. Let's get into it. All right, y'all. Somewhere along the way, many of us became so focused on who we're trying to become that we forgot to appreciate the version of ourselves that made it through the storms. And that matters. A lot of people only celebrate success. They celebrate the glow up, the accomplishments, the healed version, the successful version, the confident version. But very few people stop to honor the version of themselves that survived heartbreak, survived depression, survived grief, survived betrayal, survived rejection, survived loss, survived disappointment, survived trauma. That version of love deserves love too. See, some of y'all survived things that should have broke you, right? Because God knows I've been through things, y'all, that should have made me just give up, stop what I'm doing, say, you know what? That's it. And to be honest, I did at a point in my life. I thought that my purpose was unwritten. I thought that nobody cared about little old me. I thought not being here was the best result for me. But then God stepped in and said, "Oh no, you tripping." You know, God, my homeboy, y'all. I can talk to him about anything and don't have to worry about it getting back to the next man. Don't have to worry about him talking about me. But it was many times in the midnight hour, many times in the early part of the mornings where I felt like nothing, where I felt like nobody cared about me. And I was better off not being here. But you know, after that day and that turning point, that last time, I said to myself, I have reasons to breathe. I have children, and they should be the fuel to everything that I do, everything that I say, all the movements that I make. And when I realized that, I was like, you know what? That's it. Nobody is going to define me anymore. I had a church member that told me when I was coming up as a child. Her name was Miss Mary Louise Durrell. Love her to death. Rest in peace, Miss Durrell. She always told me never let anyone define who you are. Now, at the time when she told me that, I did not realize what she meant when she said it. I had to grow up. I had to get through some things. I had to go through some things to realize what she truly meant. Because the last time I checked, Arthur, Nikki, Nicole is not in the Webster Dictionary. So nobody can define who I am but me. Nobody knows my journey but me. And the last time I checked, I wear a size 6, 6.5 shoe in kids. And not many people can walk in them shoes. So with that being said, I keep going through it all. Sometimes I look like I'm doing okay. And you may ask me, how you feeling today? I'm good. I'm okay. I'm fine. And reality, man, I feel like crap. My body is racking in pain. I'm going through something mentally. I'm going through something emotionally. But I just choose to keep it to myself because at the end of the day, who really cares, right? Everybody is out here just struggling in their own way. Everybody out here dealing with their own things in their own way. And that's why I say everybody is going through something, but they're dealing with it differently. They know how to carry the weight, carry the pain better than most. But that doesn't mean that they're not dealing with something. Okay? Now, you survived these environments that drained you. You survived seasons where you cried yourself to sleep. You survived moments where you didn't know how things were going to work out. And God knows I had many nights like that where I didn't know how I was going to overcome things. And I still have those moments where I'm fighting for my life to make sure that things get done. Fighting for my life to make sure that I have the strength to get up every day to do the things that are necessary in my life. You survived people walking away. You survived being misunderstood. You survived feeling alone in crowded rooms. And even though you're still healing today, you're still here. And that is a blessing in itself because that matters. I think sometimes we minimize our survival because we compare our stories to other people. You cannot compare your journey to nobody else's journey because you don't know what they had to do to get where they're at. They could have broke a lot of rules to get where they're at. But you trying to stay on the straight and narrow path, stay there because God will reward you in the end. Trust me. Just be patient. Don't compare your journey to nobody else's. We tell ourselves, well, somebody else had it worse. Well, I should be over it by now. Well, I'm supposed to be stronger than this. But pain is pain, y'all. And survival is survival. And if nobody has told you lately, I'm proud of you for making it this far, even if you had to crawl into this season, even if your faith got shaky sometimes, because we know faith can get shaky. You can sit around and you can wait on God and make something happen, and you be like, oh God, you be sitting on pins and needles like, God, when, Lord, when, Lord, when are you going to show up? We at the last day and the bill is due. What are we going to do? No money to pay this bill. God always shows up on time. I had to learn that the hard way. It's hard to sit back and be like, I'm going to let God handle this one and not do anything. But one time I did that, y'all, and I kid you not. At the right time and the right moment, God showed up for me. And that's real. But even when your confidence disappeared for a while, even if you cried in silence, even if you lost yourself trying to save everybody else, guess what? You're still here. And sometimes surviving is the victory. A lot of people think healing is always loud and it's supposed to be this big old thing. But sometimes healing looks like getting out of the bed when you didn't want to. Sometimes healing looks like Finally saying no. Sometimes healing looks like taking a break. Sometimes healing looks like crying instead of pretending you're okay. Sometimes healing looks like choosing yourself for once in your life. And I need people to understand this. Survival is not weakness. The fact that you kept going despite everything that tried to stop you, that's strength. But you know what's hard? Starting over when your heart is tired. Trusting again after betrayal. Loving again after disappointment. Believing in yourself after failure. After failure. After failure. Trying again after rejection. That takes a lot of courage. And many people are carrying invisible battles that every single day that nobody sees. There are people functioning in survival mode who still go to work, still taking care of those kids, still answering calls, still texting, still helping everybody else, still smiling in public. Meanwhile, internally, they're exhausted. That's why we have to stop judging people based on what we see on the outside. Because you never know what somebody had to survive just to make it through today or yesterday or just to think about tomorrow. That may not be guaranteed. Some people survive toxic relationships. Some survived abandonment. Some survived childhood trauma. Some survived grief. Y'all, I'm still grieving right now in this moment. But God. But God. Some survived addiction. Some survived mental battles they never told anybody about. And because they survived it quietly, people overlook their strength. But survival leaves scars. And sometimes those scars make people feel ashamed. But listen to me and listen to me carefully. Your scars are proof that you healed from something that tried to destroy you. Don't be ashamed of what you survived. Be proud that you kept going. And I know some of y'all are hard on yourselves because I do it every day. I'm hard. I'm the biggest critic of myself. Trust me. You can't knock me or beat me more than I beat myself. Okay? But don't beat yourself up because you're not where you want to be yet. And I used to do that. But give yourself credit. Give yourself credit every day you choose not to quit. Give yourself credit for every prayer you prayed while feeling empty in the midnight hour. Give yourself credit for every time you got back up after life knocked you down. You earned it. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is constantly criticizing themselves while ignoring how far they've come. You survived things that an older version of you thought would destroy you, right? And look at you now. Look at you now. Take a good look at girl. Look around at yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. You still breathing. You still fighting. You still growing. Still becoming. That deserves recognition. Come on now. That deserves recognition. Come on. And let me say this too. Sometimes the conversation, sometimes the version of yourself that survived was messy, right? Sometimes survival mode made you guarded. Sometimes survival mode made you distant. Sometimes survival mode made you overprotective. Sometimes survival mode made you stop trusting people. I'm right there right now in my life, seriously, y'all. And I don't know how to get out of that mode. Because when people go through pain long enough, they learn how to protect themselves better. That doesn't make you broken. That just makes you human. Because healing is learning how to survive without losing yourself in the process. And healing takes time. We all know that. But I do hate when people say, time heals all wounds. Because you know what? Sometimes that ain't true, y'all. Time can still be ticking, you still hurting. Yeah. A lot of people want overnight healing. But healing is a journey, y'all. It's layers, it's growth, it's setbacks, it's progress. It's learning yourself all over again. And some days you'll feel strong, other days you'll feel triggered. And them trigger days are the worst, y'all. Some days you'll feel hopeful. Other days you feel tired. That's normal. But it took me a while to realize that I actually had triggers. And when I started identifying those triggers, I started staying away from them. But just be patient with yourself. You are rebuilding parts of yourself that life tried to tear apart. And that takes time. One thing I've learned is this: the strongest people are usually the people who had no choice but to be strong. The people who had to keep going because others depended on them. Me. The people who suffered in silence. Me. The people who learned how to survive disappointment after disappointment. But strength can become exhausting when you never allow yourself to rest. And Lord, I'm learning that the hard way about that four-letter word, rest. Whew, I'm getting there. I'm not fully there because there's a difference between sleeping and resting. I'm almost there, y'all. Listen, y'all gotta give me a hand clap. But that's why I want to remind somebody tonight. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to earn healing. You don't have to earn peace. You deserve those things too. So stop punishing yourself for being human. We are human. We're going to make mistakes. But people of society think we're supposed to be perfect all the time. We're supposed to do it right all the time. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes we may fall short. And that's okay because we're human. We're allowed to make mistakes. Give yourself grace. So stop acting like you're weak because you got tired sometimes. Life is heavy sometimes and carrying emotional weight for years and can wear anybody down. But despite everything, guess what? You survived. And the version of you that survived deserves credit too. Not just the successful version, not just the healed version, not just the version people applaud online, but the version that cries silently, the version that almost gave up, the version that had to rebuild from nothing, the version that kept showing up while hurting. That version matters too. Y'all, I know life is hard out here because there's so many things that happen in my life on a daily basis where I'm like, dang, boy, I got to deal with this. And I have to think twice now because I'm like, I don't want my blood pressure going up over something that doesn't even deserve my energy, right? I will walk off from things. I will stay quiet when it comes to certain things now because it doesn't deserve my response. We have to learn to choose our battles wisely because sometimes we fighting for no reason, honestly. And they're going to be big people that's going to try to drag you down. There's going to be people that's going to throw dirt in your name. But guess what? You got to keep up. You got to still stand up in the middle of the mess and the chaos and the drama. Because people will try to stir the pot in your life and try to make you seem like you're a person that you're not. But God knows who you are because he created you. So you just have to learn to move on and let people be people. Let them talk. Let them lie because God knows the truth. And whatever people choose to believe about you, that's okay. Don't let people define who you are. You know where you've been. You know where you came from. So tonight, I want you to do something different. Instead of focusing on everything you still need to fix, take a moment to appreciate how far you've already come. You are not the same person you used to be. You've outgrown that version of yourself. You've learned, you've matured, you survived. And survival is not something that you overlook. But before I close, I want to encourage somebody watching this tonight. Don't let your current season make you forget your strength. You've already survived things you once thought would break you. And if God brought you through that, he can bring you through this too. So keep going, keep healing, keep believing, keep becoming, and most importantly, be proud of yourself for surviving. Because the version of you that survived deserves credit too. So if this message spoke to you tonight, make sure you like, comment, let me know you're here, subscribe, and share this episode with somebody who needs encouragement. And in the comments, I want you to answer this question. What is something you survived that made you stronger? Think about that for a minute. But thank you so much for tuning into another Motivational Monday. And remember, one message can change somebody's entire week. So I'll see y'all next Monday. Later.
I just think about the better days. In the past and the future, I be going through it every day. I'm trying to come up with some other way. Let him elevate and turn the dark days to a brighter way. You can catch me at the top of the mountain, my guy. What you learn, I'ma teach you to go out and fly. And believe me, now it's funny, I'm blowing their mind. Was going hard, so all they had to was some time. I got big goals, so I'ma stay in my lane. I just want the money, you can have the fame. I can't forget from where I came. Trying to shake back from all this pain. Hoping for some better days, yeah.